Is this thing on? We're doing another driving video. It's like I drive an hour to and from work every day, so I have time to kill, so might as well. You see my clubs there in the back. I was golfing one day, and it came to my mind that, the best golf swing is the swing that has no thought behind it. There's no thought in the actual moment of the swing. That's the part that I think a lot of golfers don't understand. And when you're at the range and you're practicing, you're hitting balls, you're, trying to get better, you're trying out new techniques you've seen on a YouTube video, or you're just trying to perfect something that you've been working on for a while, you are training your brain to do that when you swing. You're creating a muscle memory linked with your brain where when you go to make that motion of taking a swing, right, and you're going to hit a golf ball, you're training your mind to have thoughts about what you're doing when you're swinging. So of course, when you're on the course, you're not feeling the swing, you're thinking about the swing. And everybody knows, every golfer knows, I'm sure every golfer's been told at some point, that you don't want to think when you swing. You don't want swing thoughts. That's not beneficial. So instead, a practice that I would challenge you to do as a golfer is I would challenge you to meditate or find moments throughout your day, like in a long commute like I have, or maybe just take some time before you go to work or after you get home. Just sit with yourself and let yourself be. Don't try to think. Don't try not to think, because that's how you'll think. And I think it was in the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, where he said, try this exercise. Try asking yourself, I wonder what my next thought will be. Or telling yourself, I wonder what my next thought will be. Just think it or say it out loud. And your brain struggles to come up with something because you're putting a stop in that thought thread, that thread of thoughts that keep coming to your head. So try doing that and make that a practice that you do when you go up to swing. Something that I tell myself, right? And I think this is even not beneficial because it's still technically a thought, is when I go to swing, I work on the technicals on the range, not in front of the ball. When I'm taking not even my practice swings, I don't even try to think about what I'm trying to do. I just feel what I'm trying to do, right? So that's what golf pros always tell you, is feel it. Feel the feeling of doing what you're trying to do, right? Have that motion that you're trying to create, whether it's a wrist hinge, or maybe you need to get your arms higher in your backswing, or maybe you need to have a 3-point takeaway. Maybe everything needs to be in unison together when you're taking that club away from the ball, right? Start to feel it, and feel it in the body, not in the mind. Because if you feel it in the mind, you start to think about it, and you start to think, oh, well, I need to think cup wrists at top, and then I need to think hips first release, and then torso, and then arms, and then hands. And I need to think, oh, club shaft in front of the ball, in front of the club head. I also need to think right foot pointed down and hip rotating in on a swivel, not swaying. You start to have all these thoughts, because the golf swing's so fucking complex. It's so complex, and you make it more complex by trying to think about it, because you're just adding all these different layers to it. You're adding all these stressors, and then all your brain thinks about is how to swing instead of just feeling it, instead of just doing the swing. So when you go to do your practice swings, or when you go to the range and you're trying to feel something, don't think about doing the thing, just do the thing, right? If it's cupping your wrist at the top, just do it. Don't even think. You already know what you're supposed to do, so feel it. Feel the swing. So I would challenge you to, when you go and you practice, what I would do when I was on the course or when I was practicing is I would go and I would simply tell myself, don't think, just golf. Don't think, just swing. Don't think, just golf. No thoughts, just golf. Because that's all it is. It's just golf. That's all it is. There's no thoughts that are needed to make it happen. To make the swing happen, no thought is required. You just do it. That's all it takes. And I think this will, with time and training, help a lot of people on their swing. I think a lot of golfers can benefit with this technique, not only in their golf game, but in real life in general. So like my camera keeps like tilting. In my growth that I've done in my life, especially in the last year, I've gotten more in touch with who I am as a person. And when I say that, I mean more in touch with my soul and my heart's desire. And so I've developed spiritual practices like meditation or journaling, or like just a sense of self-awareness throughout my day of the different voices that go on in my head that try to complicate my life. And developing a spiritual practice as a golfer, I think, is extremely helpful. Extremely helpful. The moment that I realized that this was something that I needed on the course, not just in my everyday life, right? In order for me to be good, in order for me to get better, in order for me to remain at a 10 handicap and improve on that, was I was out playing by myself. And I had a really rough first half. The front nine was rough. I hadn't played in a while. Like, I had only played like once or twice in the last month or so. And I had that thought, no thoughts, just golf. Nothing I had was a positive or a negative thought. Nothing I had was about a future or a past thought. It was just about the thought the shot I'm taking. I wouldn't even say it's a thought. It was just a feeling of I'm golfing. I'm just a golfer. I'm just golfing. Not thinking about having a good score. Not thinking about like how bad I did on the last hole, or how I could have played this shot differently, or how I can play the next one. Thinking about the one I'm taking, not even thinking about it, just saying, literally, I would tell myself when I went up to the ball, and when I was taking my practice swings, all I would permeate my mind is no thoughts, just golf. No thoughts, just golf. No thoughts, just golf. No thoughts, just golf. And I would say it to myself, take my swing, stop saying it, and hit it, and I would have a really good shot out of nowhere. And then I would consistently do it. I had like 3 or 4 holes where I got par, back to back to back, because I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking about the next shot. I just went through my process. As soon as I got up to that zone of the ball, I would do my pre-shot routine, which I already have down, right? Line up my clubs, see where I want to put it on the green. Be like, okay, I'm going to put it there. Seems like a good spot. No thoughts, just golf. No thoughts, just golf. No thoughts, just golf. Take 2 practice swings, set up, no thoughts, just golf. No thoughts, just golf. Hit it. And it was a beautiful shot. Landed where I wanted it to, right? And not all of it's going to be perfect, because there's mechanical behind it, right? Like, there's still a mechanical nature behind it. You still have to train the swing. But in the mental portion of golf, which is arguably, anybody will tell you, is the hardest part of golf, the hardest part isn't the swing, the hardest part is the mental. Instead of thinking about what you're trying to do, I want you to start not thinking and feeling it. Feeling what you're trying to do. You know what it looks like, right? You've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times when you watch the tour, right? When you hit a good shot, you know how it feels because you're so intensely in that moment. And that's the only way you're going to know how to hit a good shot, right? Like, you can train it to fucking death, but if you don't have the feel down, you will be inconsistent. And this is going to take time to do, because you're developing the awareness of your present moment and being intensely aware of what's going on right now and only now, you're developing that over time, and that takes time becoming aware. So continue taking your time to do that. Take your time to feel it, don't think it. No thoughts, just golf. And with that, I hope this helped. Everybody have a great day.